Good morning. All right. If you seeing things a little differently today, you are correct. Things are a little different. Felix and I are in the same space in the same building. So if you're coming in, you're seeing this, you're a regular watcher of the show. You see, we normally have a split different screen, but we are where together. Together. We are both on the wake up list. So thank you for coming and joining us. Good morning. As always, we are very, very grateful to have you. And we're going to get right on to it because it's a busy week in sports and a lot going on. So we're not going to hold you back. But as always, don't forget to click like, click share, call your friends, call your cousins, text them, inbox them on IG, on all the different platforms and let them know, hey, Kamau and Felix is back and they are talking that crazy sports and we're gonna get down to it. As always, we're gonna start with our topic of the week, as voted by who you, the listeners and the watchers. And the topic is: was hiring Monty Williams the right move for the Detroit Pistons?
uh, you know what? If Monty Williams win 16 games, then yeah, it is the right move for the Pistons because Dwayne Casey only won 15. But you know what? I don't know because we got to see if he's going to bring the dynamics of Phoenix to the Motor City, and then does he have? We know he don't have those type of players on that roster, right? So it's about the players buying in. Then we got to see what Cade comes back from the injury. Can Jaden Ivey and Cade play together? So a lot of, like I told you, when you're making the Kool-Aid, you got to put the right amount of water, sugar, stir it right. Me personally, I think we needed a new fit. Tom Gorse went and got who he wanted. Now we'll see if it pans out.
Well, first and foremost, they're paying that man a lot of money. He's making more money than most of the players on the team. So the respect factor there is going to be initially, that won't be a problem. So oftentimes players are like, I'm making more money than you. I can do what I want. You'll be gone before I will.
Absolutely.
That won't be the trouble.
Right.
I think the fact that he brings a winning pedigree from what he did in Phoenix to the Detroit Pistons is something that's going to catch on. He was able to tell them the truth and make them a little bit better down there. I'm still not happy with the fact that Phoenix let him go. I don't think that was the right move. They about to blow things up down there. It's about to look a little crazy. Phoenix needs to get some more help in terms of the owner, in terms of somebody talking to him and letting them know the direction he's going in. May not be the right one, but hey, I can't tell a man how to spend his money. Right. But I am glad to see that Monty Williams is here in Detroit. At the end of the day, we can't do no words.
16 games. That's what I said. All you got to do is win 16 games. He did better than Dwayne Casey's, right? But who's to say? Like I said, prior, I don't know. That's what it's a waiting game. Now, the good thing is his past employee is now waived, which was Chris Paul. Chris Paul would be a good addition to bring along Jaden and Cade because you had a good point guard, right? So you could bring him to tutor along Cade. But who's to say Chris gonna come there, right?
That's my first question. Does he really want to come to Detroit? Would it be a good fit for him to come here? I would definitely agree with that. When you can load manage him.
Yeah, you can load manage him, just walk him through the thing with Cade and all that. But like you said, will Chris want to do that? Because then who's to say LeBron don't pick up the phone and say, come on over here. Or Kyrie pick up the phone and say, come on to Dallas. So I don't. It's time will tell as the world turns.
Now, another question is: would Kevin Ollie have been a better fit?
Who?
Kevin Ollie. UConn coaches he coaches the big time high school players.
No,
coaching D-League.
Yeah, that's where he would have been good. He could take Rob's spot. Rob, that guy was terminated. He could take Rob's spot. But Summer League, he's a good college coach player. He played with Ray Allen. He was great point guard on them con teams. He was okay. But coaching one, yeah, you won 2 national championships. You had 2 national championships. He won one with the guy who used to be the center for us. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he was the point. He was the center, and then he won the one with
as a head coach.
He won one with the head coach, but he won one as with what's the guy's name? The little short point guard. I can't remember his name when they went on that run. Yeah, I mean, but not the head coach.
2 as a coach, one as a Yeah, two as an assistant coach, one as a head coach, and one as a player.
No, he didn't get one as a player.
Okay, all right.
He got two as a head coach. He never got one as an assistant coach. I don't believe. He got the two that UConn got prior to Jim Calhoun, because Jim Calhoun never got one. No, Jim Calhoun. I'm sorry, Jim Calhoun did get one. Yeah. He got one with Rip.
Yeah, with Rip.
Okay, and then after them, then he got I think he got two if I'm not mistaken. But nah, not a head coach.
All right. I do like Kevin Ollie. I like Kevin Ollie because he has a great personality. He knows how to talk to these young kids. But whether he had been effective as a head coach in the league, I have my doubts about. So I'm very happy that we did get Monty. We had an opportunity to get Doc Rivers, and I don't know if Doc Rivers is going to even come back to basketball. I'm willing to bet he's going to cash those checks he's getting from the Celtics and from Philadelphia, and they're going to go ahead and be Glenn, Granddaddy Glenn, and husband Glenn, and right off in the sunset.
So, a question to you:
okay,
would you take these three, Monty Williams, Doc Rivers, or who was the other one? The other one I said, Doc Rivers, Monty Williams, or Umadoka?
Again, Houston.
You would have took Umadoka over all of them.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't have got Udoka, who you would have went after them two? After with Monty Williams and Doc Rivers.
Well, that's the order we'd have been looking at. Ime Udoka first. Okay. We didn't get him, so we were able to get Monty. So that was the order. I'm glad it went in because that would have been the first person I would have definitely looked at. Would have been Ime. But he got picked up pretty quickly. I know your favorite was the gentleman in Atlanta now.
Yeah, Quinn was that was the perfect fit. He took a team. Okay, look at it this way. He had less time than Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey won 15 games. He had less time than Dwayne Casey. He joined Atlanta in the middle of the season.
All-Star break. Yeah.
Right, after the All-Star break. He took them. They got to the playoff game and they got in.
Oh, he was even later than that.
Exactly. That's why they should have went with Quinn. But I mean, Tom Gore's got who he wanted.
See, but at the end of the day, they would have had to fire Casey earlier, which they didn't want to do. That's
the problem with Detroit teams. They hold on too long. The sail is shipped, or the ship is sailed.
I'd agree with you on that. All righty. Now, what is Mr. Monty Williams' ceiling here? Do you think he's going to lead the team at some point to a championship?
No. Because now you're putting a horse in front of the carriage, right? So, okay, right now, like we discussed before, you become maybe a 7, maybe not even an 8th. Maybe you become a 7 because the 6 in front of you would be Boston, Jersey, Cleveland, the Knicks, and then the 5th would be Philadelphia, and then Miami. So you possibly are an 8th. With that being said, can he bring people here? It's all about the system they buy in, right? Because in 2 years, Devin Booker will be a free agent. Devin Booker likes playing for him. So can he lower Devin Booker here? Who knows? But then you're going to have to give up something. Because what would you, if you get Devin Booker, do you still need Cade Cunningham? No, not really.
Well, I don't see why they couldn't coexist. Devin Booker would be the starter and Cade would be the backup.
You gotta trash, man.
Trash. I'm coming off the bench.
No, get him off, period. Let's get something else.
Why not?
Because he's trash.
I never thought he was trash. I thought he got drafted a little higher than.
So you figure he's decent?
He's decent. He's decent enough where he can be a long-term backup. And what's the boy down in Miami right now, number 7? He's 17 years in the league.
He trash. You talking about Kyle Lowry?
Kyle Lowry has been effective.
Kyle Lowry just happened to be at the right spot at the right time. Sometimes the chips fall like that.
Yes, I agree.
But right now,
no. Cade has not proven that he can lead the team. He hasn't proven that he can be healthy. So to put him in that kind of a role, in my opinion, would be advantageous for him as a backup. I'm not saying as a starter, lead the team to a championship. You bring Mr. Kobe Bryant Part 2, everybody keep want to call him, to the Pistons, and then Cade can back him up. I don't see a problem in that. I think that's a good thing.
So your starter would be Booker and Jay Knight.
Yep.
And your backup to Jay Knight and Booker would be Cade.
That's not bad.
That's not good neither. That's not good neither. But okay, like you said, I
don't think that's bad. I think if you long term planning, I don't think that's a bad plan at all.
That's not a good plan either, man. He tried. Okay, I'm not saying he's time will tell.
I will say that he has not lived up to what we have hoped that he would have been by now, with his playing as well as the fact that he's been injured.
Okay, that's part of the game. Injured.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to be on the floor, like
absolutely.
We're gonna talk about a little bit later. Moving forward, we get the book Gratefulness Journey Every Day by Mr. Marcus Holmes, the man with the plan, the Wiz and Oz. He's over here running things, and we can see everything he's doing to try to keep the show moving forward. And so we want to make sure we thank him and honor him by going to get this book. And don't forget to click like, click share. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. We had about 7 or 8 people join over the last couple of weeks, so we really want to thank you for that. Hoping you guys have joined this morning to see the show and are here to cheer us on. Don't forget to make comments. We feed off of your comments. Our show is better when you're participating. Absolutely. He and I can talk about this all day, but the show is for you. We want you to come here every other Saturday, be the soul train of this generation, get up, clean up, open those windows, get that fresh air in, and instead of turning on R&B, turn on Kamau and Felix. And let us have a good show and catapult you for the rest of your day, no matter where you are. Because we were in Indonesia a couple weeks ago, so we want to thank you guys for that. Right. Moving forward, NBA Finals. We now have the Nuggets 3-1 over the Heat. Is it over? Can the Heat come back?
No. So I said Nuggets in 5. It's over in 5. It's ready to be Wednesday. Get your plane ticket if you want to go. But see, here's the thing, though. When Denver wins this, all the pressure going to be on them Broncos now. Because they're going to say, okay, then nobody had Denver to win it. Then nobody picked Denver to win it. Everybody was saying LA. People were saying Golden State was going to repeat. Nobody had Denver to win it. So if I'm Mr. Sean Payton and Mr. Russell, yeah, you better show up and show out this season.
They did say that Russell Wilson has lost a lot of weight. He's in the best shape he's been in a long time. Because Sean Payton don't play them games. He will say, he'll be like Sparky Anderson. Let's go to the right hander.
This is the guy that do up downs while the plane is in the air, and he can't sit in the. I was like, man, stop, man. I get it. I get it. You want to be known as this super athlete that does this and that. Man, stop, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, when your teammates.
When your teammates even said it, like, man, he don't be doing all that. He run up and down. Yeah, I'm doing up downs, doing the plane. I'm doing high lifts. I'm doing this. Stop, man. Well, and then you know what's so funny about it? Nobody ever came on witness to said it. Like, yeah, I actually woke up and watched them do it. Stop, man. Stop.
So my thoughts on the original, I thought that it would be the Nuggets in 6 after these last couple of games. I think it will be 5. And what I don't like is the fact that there's too much time between these games. They had the game last night, Friday night. They don't play again until Monday.
That's right.
Why waste all this time? I know you
because you have to travel. That's right.
It's a nonstop between Denver and Miami.
Okay, so the game is
over.
They
both get charter flights.
Okay. The game is over last night. It's 11 o'clock our time. So what is Miami? 2 hours behind us? Something like that? Or an hour behind us? Okay. By the time you shower, eat, take a press, change clothes, that's what? 1 o'clock by the time you leave in the arena. Okay.
Sunday.
No, because you got to board the plane. Who's to say they don't have, God forbid.
Teams are in Miami right now.
Understood. But who's to say there's things called delays. There's things called turbulence. There's things called mechanical failures. There's all, once again, when you make the Kool-Aid, you have to put everything in it. Like Denzel said, when you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too. So yeah.
We have a chartered flight. They have
understood.
Carte blanche. They put them in front of everybody else when it's time to take off.
Understood.
Both teams are already in Miami right now. They can get up this morning, have a shoot around tomorrow, and play the game tomorrow night. They're going back to Denver.
Right. Okay. So I get what you're saying. So you saying they don't need 2 days?
No. Right now, there's college softball. We just ended. We're gonna talk about that. We
Okay.
have college baseball, and there's some great games there.
Okay.
You have regular baseball.
Okay.
You have USFL,
Okay.
XFL.
Okay.
Of those, who are you really trying to watch over the NBA? None of them. Take advantage of the fact that you can get this huge lion's share in ratings, because right now people really didn't want to watch them, but it's a great story to watch them now. In the beginning, everybody's like, "No, nobody really gonna watch that," but people are watching them now.
Yes.
Everybody want to see Djokovic and those cricket arms go out there and make that soft shot around the rim.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, look, okay, you just said it. To piggyback off what you just said, okay. So when it first came out, the Nuggets against the Heat, nobody wasn't trying to watch that. Okay, so now it's 3-1. Who really going? It's over Monday. Ain't nobody gonna watch. You know what? You'll watch it because this is how it's gonna line up. First 2 quarters is gonna be kind of tight. Third quarter, Miami gonna make a push. The fourth quarter, they're gonna end it. It's gonna be. You're gonna see the confetti. You're gonna see the Bill Russell Trophy, and he'll be back in Miami. It should have been a sweep. The only reason it wasn't a sweep, ratings.
So you think the NBA came in and did they little?
They do it all the time. Okay, I give you one, and I give you one that's gonna really make you think. Like Arsenio used to say, make you say, The '96 year when Mike them went up 3-0 on Seattle. You telling me Mike them couldn't sweep them? They shouldn't have won Game 4.
No, they shouldn't.
Okay, they lost Game 4. Why? Because what did Game 6 fall on? Father's Day. Look at The Last Dance. That's when Mike broke down. I know he watching. He went down there and cried, and it's all a trilogy. It all sets up for something. I better shut up for the NBA come through this door and get me.
Be like Men in Black.
Right.
Feed go down.
Yeah.
But for the record, I did not watch The Last Dance. I'm a Pistons fan. Anything that Jordan got to say,
he ain't watched those.
anything Michael Jordan got to say, if it's on the TV and I'm coming by it, I watch it. But I respect him as a player, one of the best players of all time, if not the best player of all time. But I'm a Detroit Piston, so if he wanted to have a show where he want to talk about my Pistons, well, you can do that over there. I'm going to support him over here.
He did what he backed up his proof. Yes, okay, Isaiah. He wasn't my competition. You never swept Mike. Mike swept you. Not only did Mike sweep you, Mike destroyed your whole franchise. Mike kept you from not playing on the Olympics team. That's a bad man.
It wasn't Mike.
It was Mike.
It was Mike. It was Magic.
No, it was Mike.
It was Magic.
It was Mike.
Magic. He actually said it. If you watch that interview where they was crying together,
it was Mike.
He said it.
You gonna believe Magic Johnson?
Yes. Magic has always been honest.
The same guy that was supposed to restruck the Lakers. Right. Another show for another day.
Like him and Jordan, both. I would say that Magic is a better GM than Jordan. That's for sure. Jordan, I don't think he's ever had a team to go to the playoffs at all.
Yes, he has. The year Miami beat Charlotte. The year when Mike sat courtside and LeBron stared at him when he dunked. Yeah. Okay. He took a team.
Okay. One time out of how many?
You got to crawl before you walk.
He been there 20 years.
He been there 20 years, man. He just changed it back to the Hornets. He ain't been there no 20 years.
How long has Michael Jordan been
the GM of the Hornets? Maybe 7, 8. It ain't been no. He just changed them back to the one.
He been mad at Charles Barkley longer than that.
He been mad at Charles. He's been mad at him and Charles ain't talked for 10.
Okay, so that's at least 10.
No.
Because Barkley said that he was a bad GM. Now
the day him and Juanita got divorced, he bought the Bobcats 3 days later. He didn't change the Bobcats name till a year later back to the Hornets. So whatever year they got divorced, 3 days from that's how long he been the GM. And come on, man! I told you, I'm on my thing, man. I'm on my thing.
So he been crawling for 10 years. That's as bad as the Pistons.
And in 10 years,
the Pistons been to the playoffs just as many times as the Hornets in the last 10 years.
No.
Okay, you're right. Pistons have been more. Pistons have been in the last 10 years like 2 or 3 times.
No, because the year you signed Blake, that was the last time you've been to the playoffs. What year was that?
That was 4 years ago.
That was 5.
5 years ago.
Okay, so that's 2018.
Okay, so we 1-1. Okay, the Hornets, Pistons. Pistons been there before that though. The Hornets still have it.
When had the Pistons been there before that?
I'm gonna have to look it up.
I'm on my.
We need a producer being on the ear. Be like, it's just that. It's just that.
When did you?
All right. Now, what question is? Where happened to playoff Jimmy? Where's playoff Jimmy? He's scoring. He is scoring, but he's not having the same impact.
Overrated.
That he would have in the earlier rounds.
Overrated.
He scored 13, 21, 28, and 25. In the game that they won, he scored 21. Lost. He only scored 13, 20, and 25. Well, only 13 the first game, but 20, 25, and 2 losses. Those are good numbers, yes. But is he having the same impact in the game that he had in the first couple rounds where he was playoff Jimmy?
Overrated. I've been saying that from day one. Look, I got the jersey. That's what's funny. I got the black one. Jimmy Butler, okay, I'm not a fan. Let's go on record. I'm not a fan. But at the same token, yeah, he overrated.
Okay. I would say that he is the leader, the unquestioned leader of that team. And
no, the leader of the team is the dude on the sideline with the red hoodie on. Udonis Haslem is the leader of that team.
Okay, on the court. I'll give you that. Haslem, and I felt so bad seeing him come to the game last night. Oh my God. Oh, he was ashy for one. 2, he had some knots in his head. He needed to go see Dr. Pimple Popper. Oh my God. I'm like, why did they put this man in the game? If I'm him, I'm like, I'll put my jersey on. I didn't put my jersey on. Go get one of the other kids. Oh my God!
Because he's like the statesman for the Miami Heat. I
agree.
So if we gonna go out, let him go out.
Who was it? What's the name said the other day? They need to have at least 2 veterans on the team like Haslem to help these younger guys, get better. And I agree that you do need to have something like that to go forth to help the team to help the younger guys move forward and to help in practice, to help them learn what it's like to be a professional. You have to have that. But my question is, should they make the exception to make it 14 roster spots as opposed to 12, knowing that these 2 guys are going to just be leaders as opposed to just being players on the team?
Well, I mean, yeah, you do, but yeah, not really. You know, it's that's a goal. That is a goal. But like, okay, when you're Udonis Haslem, you held up. You spent this whole tenure with the Miami Heat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Joe Dumars, he stayed until Grant really got going. Then Joe Dumars left. They broke up the Bulls, so Mike didn't get a chance to do that. But he did stay with the Wizards till they kind of fast and whatever. A good right. A good example of Udonis Haslem would be Iguodala.
Yeah.
But the only bad thing is Iguodala is not developing what he needs to be developing. What I mean by that is Jordan Poole didn't do nothing. You paid for, that's what you paid for. You know what I'm saying? So I get a lot of these teams keep on, or like when they leave and they don't play no more, they make them assistant coaches. Like I read a report where Monty Williams is bringing Jared Jack to be an assistant coach. Mm-hmm. Jared Jack was a former NBA player. He was a good college player, played at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
But I mean, at some point you got to cut the ties, right? So we'll see.
Well, the first thing I thought was they want to help recycle that money for some of them old veterans. That's the first thing.
But then you got Mark Bryant over there. He a coach. He used to play on the Phoenix Suns. So I kind of get it, but then I don't know, because like we said earlier in the show, Chris Paul, he's not gonna get a big payday. It's probably gonna be league minimum wherever he goes. So like we say, we'll see.
Okay, I have an answer. Let's see here. Make sure I think this is right. Michael Jordan has had a majority ownership stake in Charlotte Hornets since 2010. Prior to this, he became a Hornets managing member of basketball operations in 2006. As well as this acquisition, he became the first former player to control majority of an NBA team. So 2006 effectively to 2023, he was running the team from 2006-2010, where he spent the money and bought the whole thing, or the majority in 2010. So 2006 to 2023, That's what, 17 years.
Yeah.
And
Good math.
So
How many playoffs times they've been?
So let's see. I'm trying to get the next question in. Before we got to move forward in the interest of time. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball. Oh man, our Tigers have hit our summer slide. Unfortunately, we've lost 7 straight games.
Absolutely.
And right now we are 26-35 in 4th place in the American League, and we are 4.5 games behind the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in the middle of a 7-game series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Mm-hmm. I've always liked Arizona because they got that cool stadium. And Kirk Gibson was the coach, took them to the playoffs, close to winning the championship with them. They got those cool uniforms. Mm-hmm. And they got the pool out in center field in Arizona. How can you not like that? With a stadium with how it is out there in Arizona, you need a stadium like that.
Absolutely.
So I agree with that, with them having that. So I'm glad that they did do that. But Diamondbacks are tough. They were Thursday night. It was 2-0 going into the 2-0. Yeah, 2-0 going into the bottom of the night.
No, that was the Phillies.
That was the Phillies. Okay,
that was the Phillies. Last night was the start of the Diamondbacks. Okay. They lost 10-2, I believe.
Yeah, 11-6 last night.
Oh, 11-6. Okay. That's when I stopped watching. 10-2.
I felt bad because when I turned the game on, it was the bottom of the ninth, and they just had the bases loaded, and they got out. And I said to myself, man, they probably lose. Because why? Because I felt like I was bringing bad energy, bad juju to the team because I didn't watch from the beginning. Right. So as soon as they went, first two batters was first and second base, no outs, I turned it off. Because I knew what was coming next. And last night, 11-6, and then right now they play in about another hour downtown and for the Tigers. They play the 105 game today.
Well, maybe they lost last night because Taylor Swift was here.
Oh, Swifties.
Yeah, maybe the Swifties took over. I don't know, but
you know what? Careful. We don't want nobody to come like the NBA. We don't need nobody to try to stab us. We talking about the Swifties.
But you know what? This is the thing with the Tigers. Okay, they're 4.5 games behind the Twins, right? Stop looking at the standings and just play. Just play. Because what's going to happen is going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, before Memorial Day weekend, they were a game out of first. Or a game tied out of first, whatever. Then the bottom fell out. Just play. Now you're talking about getting rid of Javi Baez. Then you're talking about doing this. Then you're talking about doing this. Then the green kid, he got hurt. Just play. Next man up. Play.
Well, I said they just need to stay close to 500. If you stay close to 500, anything happens, especially with the weak American League Central that they're in.
Right, absolutely.
American League Central is terrible.
Absolutely.
In the words of Charles Barkley, is terrible.
Terrible.
With the Twins, 32-32.
Yep.
Guardians, 30-33. White Sox, 29-36.
Yeah,
Tigers, 26-35. The Royals, 18-45. Mm-hmm. So if you could stay at 500, like the Twins, you'll get a playoff spot.
Absolutely.
So I said that at the beginning of the season, just stay one game above, one game below 500.
Absolutely.
And you'll be okay.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that's too much to ask.
Right.
I don't think so at all.
No.
So hopefully we can get things right with the Tigers. I just, baseball is my second love behind soccer. Soccer, then baseball, then football.
Woo.
Basketball was in there too, but I know you always basketball.
So basketball is fourth?
Well, yeah, because I was not coordinated, so I wasn't good at playing it. So I would watch it, but I didn't play it as much until I got coordinated better. Because I was terrible. I was a terrible athlete.
And football is third.
Yes. I was good at soccer. I could, you can run and kick the ball and dribble with your feet. That's all right. Baseball, because that was the first sport I played. Then football, because then I could hit somebody, and that was good. I can get all my aggression out, and I get in no trouble. Hey, as a kid, things would look crazy. So when
in Detroit, in Detroit,
somebody knock them out a little bit.
Only in Detroit.
Right. Let's see here. The Rays still have the best record in Major League Baseball at 47-19. Right. They are way ahead of everybody else right now. The other team that has 40 wins are the Texas Rangers, and they're at 40-22. Okay. And speaking of which, In another 20 days, the Tigers will be in Arlington, and I will be going to see one of those games. I go every year when they come to town, and hopefully they will do well.
You wear a Tiger jersey?
Wear Tigers jersey, Tigers hat. Sit out in right field, enjoy myself, and enjoy myself. I have a good time. One year I took off of work and went to the 105 game, and that stadium was crowded. I didn't think it was gonna be that crowded, but it was a lot of fun. Oh, okay. You know, I always talk about going to the double wide, to the shed.
The shed.
Yeah, going to the shed. So we're gonna talk about that in the next show, because that'll be before the next show. Before I move forward, I want to make sure I say hello to Ursula Mary Bird. Thank you for joining us. Kenneth Williams, Tammy Williams. Kenneth Williams did have a comment. You said they need to take time off for themselves and their families plus rest. I'm assuming you're talking about when we were talking about the NBA, when they had to in between games. I hope. I'm sorry I didn't get to look at that a little bit earlier, but thank you for people for making your comments. If you're watching, just say hello so we can make sure we acknowledge you. If you are, no matter what your platform is, it'll come through, and I always check back to the different platforms that we broadcast across, and we want to make sure we say thank you for that. And because without the show, without you, there's no us. We can do this all day, like I said, but we want you to be a part of what we do, and we want to thank you for that.
Absolutely.
All righty. And also moving forward, we have NFL news. We don't have a lot of NFL news. It's the calm before the storm before training camp. The biggest news coming out of NFL world is that Josh Allen is on the NFL, on the Madden cover for this year. Do you think the curse is going to catch him?
Nah, they going to curse themselves. They Buffalo, man, got all that talent and can't do nothing. They going to curse themselves. That's best.
So you think they're going to have another 4-year run and like the former, like Jim Kelly and them, and not do that?
Yeah, because you got to get through Kansas City, and it's proven they can't beat Kansas City, or it won't even be Kansas City this year. It's going to be Baltimore. Watch, it ain't going to be Cincinnati. It's going to be Baltimore. Watch, it's going to pick your poison. It's going to be one of them three: Baltimore, Kansas City, or Cincinnati. Everybody going to say, "What's wrong with Buffalo? You didn't stack the deck. You went and got the dude from Minnesota. Your quarterback and him got into it last year. You lost your linebacker from the championship Rams that used to play for the Broncos. You lost him. They're gonna curse themselves. You don't have a running back. You have no running back. The only good thing that came out of that was that the Hamlin kid. He recovered. He's back on the field. You know, God is good. Took care of him. That's it. But they gonna curse themselves. They ain't going nowhere. The door has closed.
I hate to sound like a hater, but there's no way he should be playing. No way. If they have to stop a whole game on your behalf because you effectively died in the middle of a game, and then they came back and paid you your full contract in anticipation of you not coming back, I'm not accepting any doctor's notes. I don't care what they say. You come over here and sit down, young man. We're gonna put you up here in this booth. We're gonna put this jersey on you. We love you, but you're not coming back on this field unless you want to pass out water and be cheer your teammates on. I don't know why they even allowed that to happen. I understand the war mentality where you want to continue to play, you want to continue to prove that you got it, that you can come back for something like this, but that's a little bit too far. If something like this allow Skip and Shannon to effectively break up because they have a difference of opinion about him even stopping the game, he shouldn't be back on the field. I don't want to sound like a hater. If anything, this is out of concern. Because what's the probability of this happening again? Highly likely.
We don't know though, right? Doctors aren't wrong. Doctors aren't wrong. The only person who's not wrong is God, right? Because that's who's the creator of everything. Mm-hmm. So if God's given this man the ability to go back and play what he loved to do, why not do it?
They practicing medicine with this man. They practicing the fact that they don't know. Go back out there and get this boy hurt. I pray for Lord that doesn't happen to this young man. I'm not praying any bad. I'm not putting any bad thing on him. But as a GM, if I'm the GM, he come back and say I want to play. Well, I'm gonna send him to a USFL team, see what he can do first. I'm gonna send him to XFL to make sure that he's okay. And if he can make it through, you're more than welcome to come on back.
Okay.
But
So,
I'm not putting myself in that kind of a spot of liability with having him coming back and play and almost down the field again.
okay. So what's the difference between that situation where he stopped the game and you stopped the game with Tua? You stopped the game twice with Tua. You stopped the game with Tua in Cincinnati, and you stopped the game when he played in Miami when he barely could get off the field and his teammates helped him. What's the difference?
Tua shouldn't be out on the field either. He shouldn't be back out there. I agree.
But if
we agree on that,
the doctors is diagnosing him and saying he's okay, I don't get it. That's what they get paid to do. They're doctors.
I agree. That's what doctors do, and they get any quack doctor will sign off on something like that. You give them enough money.
We can't see. You can't do that.
You got Donald Duck in the office telling some. Well, let me go ahead and slide this on you.
You can't
go back on out there. You can say that. Tua shouldn't be back out there. Tua is worth too much money to them not for him to come back. That's why he's back. Hamlin shouldn't come back at all. There's no way. When you out on the field, your eyes roll in the back of your head, and because your brain is shifted like that, he shouldn't be back out there playing.
So he shouldn't be back out there playing based on the concussions, the 2 concussions he had.
The severity of the concussions. I've had a ton of concussions.
That's part of the game, right?
It is a part of the game.
Okay, so
and that's why they're supposedly saying we're going to make things safer by going through these protocols. But somebody at some point has to be able to say, that's enough.
Okay, so Steve Young, the concussions he had.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm. Elvis Gerback went out in the middle of the game and took him out. Somebody was smart enough to say, go get him. But we also talk about a different generation. If they had those protocols when Steve Young was out there, I would say Steve Young needs to sit on down too and go and sit up and when he was the 49ers. I would have said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think like that back then, quite honestly.
Right.
I didn't think like that at all because I was still pretty much coming out not too far from me playing my high school days. I can tell you I had concussions from Little League all the way through high school.
Man, you kept playing?
Kept playing. Because it's a warrior mentality.
Okay.
So I understand Mr. Hamlin wanted to continue to play. I can remember being pulled out of a game at the staggering around, sat out 3 plays, went back in the game. Didn't want to set out the play. They pulled me out of the game.
Oh, okay.
We was out on the goal line. I'm trying to score. I'm playing fullback. I'm trying to open up the hole for my running back. I hit this kid. He backed up. We looked at each other, hit each other again. Like Rams, literally like Rams. And he fell. I fell. We looking at each other, pointing at each other. His coach ran from one side of the field. My coach came, pulled us off the field, literally. He came back in the game later. I came back in the game later. The very next year, playing against Clansville, another goal line play. I ran the guy over, middle linebacker, and we both literally laying there looking up in the ceiling. And started laughing because we both know we had knocked each other out. I had to set out play. Came back out and played the rest of the game. Well, went back in the huddle, played the next game. War mentality. Somebody has to be able to say no.
Right. Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Moving forward, let's see. Dalvin Hopkins still has not signed. They say he might be with Kansas City. I think that would be a good move for them. But can his ego and his attitude surviving in Kansas City? I would say yes. Why? Because even though the quarterback is the leader of the team, what's the tight end's name? 87?
Kelsey
is the under question leader of receivers. So he's going to say, hey, I feel you, but this ain't what we do out here. We going to show out. We're going to show up. But this ain't that. So I think that would be a good fit. And Dalvin Cook released by the Vikings. The Broncos, Dolphins, and possibly Lions are looking at picking him up. I would love to see him come here and be a Lion. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm willing to bet he's going to be, at the end of the day, he's going to go to the Broncos, and so they can take some of the heat off of what's the boy with the curly hair?
The Broncos. Are you talking about Russ?
Russ. And Russ, who I do like a lot. I thought last year was an aberration for him. We talked about that a lot. I think that he's going to come back with a much better season.
Nope. 10-9. What is it? 17 games?
Mm-hmm.
7-10.
Okay. I'm one of the best. Going to be a little bit better than that. They're going to make the playoffs.
9-8.
But we going to get there. Now that they make the playoffs is not a bad thing.
Right, the Lions. Right, okay,
The
yeah.
Lions they didn't make the playoffs.
Right.
But season's coming. I'm excited about football. And we will get to all that. Also, in terms of time, we'll make sure we do give a little bit of justice. Like we always say, we want to make sure we include our women's sports.
Right.
WNBA is in full swing. DeWanna Bonner Wednesday night went off for 41 against the Las Vegas Aces, giving them their first loss. And they are 7-1 right now. And being coached by Becky Hammond, she had a little controversy when she got there, running her mouth about a few things about between NBA and the WNBA. And I like Becky Hammond. She's not afraid to go out there and mix it up a little bit as a player.
Coach for the Pistons.
And as a coach. That's why she was former coach.
Should have been a coach for the Pistons. Tom Gore should have went and got her.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Her, Don Sadler.
Why not? I don't think Don's going to leave South Carolina.
Eventually. Because you're not going to keep getting them top recruiting classes like that. You're going to end up getting, like, okay, you just lost the girl that went number one and all that. You're going to start to get that domino effect. Because Gino Amarera is not going nowhere from UConn, right? You got Jay Knivey's mother at Notre Dame. You got top-notch coaches in this game. He going to start to become UConn again. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
So
I think he's going to make one more good run at it like they did at Tennessee
before
Pat Summer retired. I agree. Let's see here. The Felix, let's see. Sabrina Ionescu went off for 37 last night versus the Dream and 106-83 victory.
She only had 4 the night before, ain't that?
But that's how you come back.
Right. She had 4, and then she did 37. So a 33-point swing. Wow.
So she's also coming back from that knee injury.
Yes.
So we want to wish her well. And hopefully she'll have a
They loaded over there, too. I got Brianna Stewart and all. Yeah, they loaded.
The New York Liberty. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just one league, so they take the top and then they split it from there.
Right.
I'm hoping if I have my way, it would be Vegas versus New York.
The Aces.
The Aces, yes.
Yeah.
Where Becky Hammond's continuing to work of our own Piston. The coach retired.
Yeah.
In New York, I would like to see that. That would be good for the league, good for ratings, and that would be just a great matchup. Because I don't know, Vegas might be more loaded than New York.
You know who could really do something though if they get it together? Brittany Griner.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix can get it together too.
I agree. That they should definitely make the playoffs. All right, and let's see here. In other women's sports, Oklahoma wins its 3rd straight NCAA title, defeating Florida State 3-1 in a double elimination game. And on the season, Oklahoma won 61-1, lost their first game of the season, ran off 61 in a row for the third straight time winning the NCAA championship. Yeah. And those girls are they tough. They tough. They walking like they talking. They talk that junk and then go out and back it up. And I love it. And I love it. And another reason I like them because they have a fair amount of equity on that team, the E&I in terms of women of color, more than just African American and Caucasian young ladies, which you don't see a lot in the SEC. Speaking of which, Missouri just hired the first African American coach away from Southern, and so we're gonna see what happens with that. Because if you want to see some non-inclusive teams in NCAA, turn on baseball. I don't care what league you're in. You're not gonna see a lot of African American players. You're gonna see some Hispanic ones, but you rarely see African American players.
Right.
But I was watching the Pivot podcast, and Griffey Jr. said that it's coming back, and that's all I had to believe in. All right, we want to make sure we acknowledge Miss Good Reverend Dr. Valencia Agner. She said yes. I don't know what she said too. I do apologize. We want to acknowledge your presence. Good morning to you. Good morning, Phyllis Lloyd and Eric Powell. And as we come down the stretch, we're going to take a quick pause for the pause as we move into Stupid Sports News. She points back in so we don't have the noise. sports news we got first of all, Mr. Referee, Mr. Eric Lewis, a very, very renowned and good official in the NBA. Excuse me. He was removed from the finals crew because it was discovered that he possibly has a burner account. Him and KD been comparing notes behind the scenes, and he's been clapping back at people talking about referees and not picking unnecessarily. Why? Your record stands for itself. You're very respected as a referee. Something like this is allowing them to take you off unnecessarily. I don't, in my opinion, it's not needed for him to have a burner account. I can see if he's one of those guys they accuse of cheating all the time, and he would back himself up.
Right.
But this man's been in the league for many years, and 5 years in a row refereeing in the finals. Mark Cuban went in and set up that system for them to evaluate. He's been one of the top. Right. So you don't need to do stuff like that. So to me, that definitely qualifies as stupid sports news. What you think?
Let me see. You know what? What was the guy who got caught? That was the run ref that got caught. Okay.
The lone wolf.
You're right. The lone wolf. Okay. So the NBA needs to, the NBA needs to get better with breaking it down with these with the NBA refs. But in this instance right here with this story, if he has a burner account, who's to say he's not illegally betting on games, right? Because, I mean, he got a burner account. That's usually what you do to get rid of something, right? You don't have a legitimate account. So,
well, the burner account basically allows him to make a comment or clap back at people without them really knowing who he is. Instead of him going on saying, this is Eric Lewis, this is E-Dub-L.
Right, E-Dub.
3875, 27.
Right. Okay.
And so then that way he can go on Twitter and, clap back at people.
Okay.
He wasn't investigated for cheating. It was just the fact that it's a conflict of interest to be out on the court and say, make this play, make this call, and then, then go back and talk to somebody about why he did it.
Right. Okay. Which is an NBA player.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Well, it could be an NBA player. It could be anybody he's talking back to.
Okay.
That they don't want him to do that.
Okay. That's understood.
All right, next we got Mr. Zion. Woo! Probably the biggest sports news out there. Even though it's a non-sports news, Zion is officially having a child. So congratulations to him. But that's not the news. His presumed other young lady that he sees has put some of their business out in the street. And there actually has been a third young lady who has come forth recently and has said that she has been part of their his extra life on the side. Okay. So, Mr. Zion, you're going to be known for playing basketball, man. And there's a lot of bad stuff I can say behind that as a double entendre. But Mr. Zion, we talked about you getting your contract, getting back on track, right, putting up the numbers. You started off the season real strong, right? But right now, you're known for. You used to be known for dunking on people in high school. You was known for having a good season at Duke for your 1 year. Now you're known for out there being in these streets, brother. We share the last name, and you're making us Williams look bad. So come on, brother. You make us in the streets. You're making us look good. Right. But at the end of the day, you're making the NBA world look bad. Bring it on back, brother. Do your best to get some NDAs and get them girls to be quiet. Get them, get them to be quiet. That's what you need to do. Right. All right. What you think, sir?
Like I told you before the show, I did my research, and the thing what was intriguing to me is the young lady that she claims in the profession that she doesn't participate with African American men. So I'm like, wait a minute. But then I said, he plays sports. That don't fit that criteria. So I don't. To me, it sounds like a hoax because I did my research, and in my research, she doesn't participate with African American men.
But that's her job. Her job is to make those movies with gentlemen of non-African American lineage.
Yeah, so, but she doesn't. She doesn't have none. I went through them. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I actually did the research.
That's
I looked.
Job. They pay her.
No. She right. That's what she does. No.
Might be different.
No, because I looked, and I read comments. In comments that I read, guys were saying, I don't like her because she doesn't blah, blah, blah. It's a family-oriented show, so I'm not going to say what they said, but that's what they said. So once I did my research, I said, well, wow, she doesn't. So that's why I think maybe it's a hoax. But then at the same token, you're an adult entertainer. How do you fall for an NBA player? Because at the end of the day, Paul George, we went through the same thing. He ended up marrying the young lady he had a baby with, and she was an exotic dancer. So I guess it's like the old saying says, it's somebody for everybody. I don't believe that, but that's what they say.
Well, what's her name having a baby with that one girl off of NBA Wives or something like that, whatever that show.
You talking about basketball, right?
Yeah, he something like that. The trio, the one that didn't make it in the league out of the brothers.
So, you mean Lonzo Ball?
The third
ball brother. So that would be LaMelo.
Yeah,
LaMelo then.
Yeah, Melo.
Yeah.
So, like you said, somebody for everybody.
No, that's not true.
That's
not true.
They smell it. It's oil. It's money. So they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. All right. Big Ten new schedule out for 2024. They are adding UCLA and USC, and it's going to be a tough schedule those first couple of years. You got both of those, UCLA and USC, going to be playing Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State, and the home and homes, and it's setting up. They've gotten rid of the actual league, so it's going to be like the WNBA. The top two going to play in Indy at the end in December, and they're saying that it could get to the point where Michigan, Ohio State play 1 week in their last game of the year because they protect their rivals, and then play again the next week in Indianapolis. I am interested to see how this is going to go. I think it brings back another storyline. It makes people be interested in the Big Ten, even though they're pretty much getting a good amount of the shine in terms of the press. Let's hope they get the wins like the SEC. SEC is set up to win, where the Big Ten, we trying to get in where you fit in.
Right.
I understand. For the first time in history, Michigan and Ohio State went to the playoff, and Ohio State was a couple points and just a kickoff to the side, and making the national championship to play against TCU, where they probably would have jumped on TCU the way Georgia did. So I'm very interested in seeing this because they're still talking about Utah and Washington joining the league. They're talking about possibly Missouri joining the league. They're talking about another East Coast team down the line joining the league like West Virginia.
Okay.
So it's about getting these television markets. And when your television contract is worth a couple billion, it's in your best interest to have the biggest markets available to you. So go Big Ten. Big Ten is what we have in this area. Even though I'm living in the SEC area, and I get to see those crazy games down there, and it's normally never close.
Right.
Those games are normally never close. They like to beat up on each other.
Uncle Nick.
All right. And the college football players are at odds because them having the video game coming back. They are offering each player that is on the roster a one-time $500 payment, and the players are saying that's not fair, that's not enough. I personally agree with the players, understanding that royalties down the line, 20 years from now, there's people who still be playing this game. And if they play they play me as a player, I should be able to receive a royalty for that. But also you got to look at it from EA Sports side. So you got 300 something teams,
correct, with
52 people on the roster. No, that's NFL. Was it 75? I think college. So you're paying 300 something teams times 75 times 500. So looking at from both sides, I understand why they would say that. And at the end of the day, it's in EA Sports' best interest to hold the line. But I would have to stand with the players on it. Like they talk about now, how you go back, you see all those guys who got nothing,
Right.
and they would say have they got their royalties, how much money they could have had, like songwriters.
Yeah.
You go back and you look at the '50s, how people stole their rights and their royalties.
Right.
So I'm interested how this is going to go. What's your thoughts, sir?
Yeah. I mean, look who started it. Ed O'Bannon. The former player, the former All-American from UCLA, won a national championship. Him and Charles. Charles played for the Pistons. And it was like, wait a minute, you got NCAA, EA Sports, championship, NCAA basketball, and you got the 95 Bruin team. It was Tim, Toby Bailey, George Zedek, all of them. And Jim Herrick was, running the ship, and we're not getting nothing from this. So he was, at that time, he was a used car salesman. He wasn't even, his NBA career was over. But he's saying, why should they still, venture out and get paid off us? So I get it. He's right. Because I'm sure if you play EA college sports, and there's no knock on him, but if you play college, you're not picking Michigan State with Matisse, please. You're not picking that team, right?
People in this area would, because that's what we know.
No. Well, yeah, you're right. Because you would pick what? The Fab Five? You would pick that Michigan State team. You would pick the team that won the national with Glenn Rice.
Yep.
Right. So, the Ohio State team with, what's his name?
Jim
Jim Jackson and Lawrence Funderburg on it. Yeah. So, yeah.
So that's what they would do.
Right.
And that's a great segue into what I heard this morning. They're talking about the IRS are saying that the NIL is almost like illegal money.
Wow.
In terms of being able to be taxed.
Okay.
And they're trying, and I just think that some big time booster said, my team's not winning. We don't have the NIL money.
Right.
What can we do about this?
Right.
So now you got the IRS made a statement, which is kind of funny that it came out on a Saturday about this NIL. So that's sort of like Hansel and Gretel. We dropping these nuggets along the way.
Right.
So you see where this is going to lead to.
Right.
All right. As we round up the show, we're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe leaving undisputed after the NBA Finals, which will either be Monday or Wednesday. Then his last show will be Tuesday. Yeah. Or his last show will be Thursday.
Last show will be Tuesday.
And I'll be watching it. I just want to see if they're going to actually address it. I've been trying to see if they're going to say anything about it. They haven't. So we're going to see what happens, if they're going to dap it up, hug it out, and let Shannon walk away with his goat mask on.
Did he say why he's leaving?
That has not come out. That has not come out. I think it's more than just the hammering stuff. I think it's because Sharpe has gotten to a few tussles. That thing with John, his dad on the court. Okay. He's threatened a couple players. Come on, I'll whoop you. Fox don't take too kindly to stuff like that.
Okay.
They like people on their team that keep their nose clean. So that when they it's not like ESPN where they give you a couple chances.
Yeah, they give you a couple of chances.
That's not Fox. So I think it's beyond the fact that him and Skip aren't getting along.
So him and Skip aren't getting along?
Well, I think they're on better terms than what they were before.
Okay.
Because you see how he skipped a couple of days of work after that whole Hamlin thing. He didn't come in, so they had to cancel the show for a couple of days.
Wow. Okay.
So we're gonna see what happens with that. And of course, Stephen A. Smith was nice and messy and said, "Hey, come on over and join me over here." I would love to see them two go.
No.
And but somebody would have to go.
Mad Dog got to go. We both agree we do not like them. Yeah, Joe.
He brings an element to that show that is just
terrible.
Right, but I understand why they
Charles Barkley, terrible.
You gotta get a demographic.
Right.
All right, we're gonna close out the show with a couple predictions. Do we think that the Heat are going to win this next game?
It's over Monday. Parade Wednesday.
Okay, all right. I will say that originally I thought that the Nuggets would be in 6. I'm leaning more towards 5 now, but I'm gonna stick with the 6 because I'm gonna stay consistent. We gonna if you look at our promo that we just added yesterday, we need to do another Kamau and Felix movies, and I think we should preview. We should talk about Transformers: Rise of the Beast. We also got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Flash. So you up for that, partner?
Sure.
We're gonna coordinate that. We're gonna definitely talk about at least one of those movies in the next show. Thank you again for coming out. We do appreciate you. Thank you so very much. And don't forget to click like, click share. Tell people to come check us out. We're across a couple different platforms, and it's just an honor to come here once again on this Saturday. Be safe, stay hydrated. Have a great, great.